Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for our Amtrak Vacations webinar presentation, kicking off our National Park series with Part 1, Glacier National Park. I want to go ahead and introduce myself as your webinar host. I am Jackie Malecki, and I am excited to be talking to you all about Glacier National Park because it's actually one of my favorite parks and one of my favorite places that I've been able to visit. And yes, that is a picture of me right there at Glacier National Park. And I'm really excited because at the end of this presentation, I'll be giving away a $100 Amtrak Vacations gift certificate to one lucky attendee. But everyone stay tuned because at the end, I'll also be announcing some exclusive discounts just for all of you for taking the time and joining me today. Now, don't forget to download the handout that's on the right-hand side of your screen, which has some information on the packages I'll be talking about today. And if you do have any questions at all throughout this presentation, please feel free to type it into your questions box, and I'll make sure to leave a little bit of time at the end to get to some of those questions. So with that, let's get right to it. So why should you travel with Amtrak Vacations? Well, first of all, it's a bucket list experience to travel by train. You're going to see some beautiful sights in parts of the country you would never experience by flying or driving. There's room to roam on board. You're not stuck in your seat like you are in a car or on an airplane. You can get up, walk around, stretch your legs. It's less hassle when you book and travel with us because we take care of everything for you. We're booking not just your train, but also your hotel accommodations and the sightseeing tours in the different places that you're going to. The train has city to city service. What I mean by this is the train will pick you up right in the heart of one city and bring you right to the next, right to the city center, downtown locations. You can satisfy your hunger on board the train. There's a snack car on all the trains, but also on the long distance trains, there's also a dining car with a chef that's preparing the meals. And we have lots of flexibility with our packages. We have daily departures for most of them, and we can customize anything to make sure we have the perfect vacation package for you. Now, I always love showing this map because a lot of people are always surprised to see the extent that Amtrak travels to. There's over 500 stations that you can actually start your trip from. And you can see all the different routes here. The Empire Builder route is the one going from Chicago right through Glacier National Park, ending in Seattle, or you can take it down to Portland area. Now, some great things about traveling on Amtrak is there are no middle seats. It's just two and two, so you don't have to worry about getting squished between two strangers there. Lots more room for you to kind of stretch out while you're on board the train. You don't have to spend so much time sitting in traffic. We all know how stressful that can be. You just immediately feel your blood pressure rising with all that traffic. It's not like that on the train. Let someone else take care of the driving you and getting you from point A to point B there to your destination. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. You're not confined to your seat at all. In fact, it's encouraged to kind of get up, walk around, experience everything that the train has to offer, whether it's going to the snack car to grab a bite to eat or going to the dining car for your lunch as you're traveling through the Colorado Rocky Mountains. Maybe you want to hang out in the observation car with the large glass windows. You have the ability to do all that. But really, the best thing is just the sights that you're going to see while you're on board. I'm sure we've all been there, sitting on a plane for hours, just staring at clouds out the window. It's not like that at all on the train. Whether you're traveling the Coast Starlight, which runs along California's coast, right along the Pacific Ocean, absolutely incredible views, or maybe you're taking the train into Chicago with views of the skyline as you get closer, or traveling through Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, just winding through the mountains there. It's also really inconvenient. You don't have to worry about walking from terminal to terminal in these huge airports that you have, like when you're flying. The stations are really great, very convenient. Take Glacier Park, for example. That station, here's a picture of the station building right there. There's a nice waiting area inside. So you just get right to the station. You can, if it's a nice day, there's even benches. You can sit outside, and the train literally pulls up right in front of it. Now, one thing I want you all to keep in mind while I go through this presentation, talk about some of our packages in just a bit, is how you can get to the start of it. We can add the train from any of the 500 Amtrak stations. We can add it from your hometown or your local station to bring you to the starting city of the package and then back home at the end. But you also have the option to fly. So you can kind of do a combination. Whatever is best for you, it all depends on how much vacation time you have, where you're looking to go on your trip, and just let us know what'll work best for you and we can make that work. I do want to talk about the different product types that we have. We have our independent journeys. Those are our longer multi-city trips where, of course, you're taking the train to get you from city to city or from national park to national park. We have our family adventures, which is great for multi-generational travelers. Lots of family-friendly activities and great prices for kids. We have our rail and sail program where you can take a nice scenic cross-country train ride over to Seattle or Vancouver before embarking on an Alaskan cruise. We have our rail getaways. Those are our single city trips where we add the Amtrak train from your hometown or your local station. And we have our packages going out to our beautiful national parks. So let's talk a little bit about Glacier National Park. It's over 1 million acres of absolutely beautiful scenery and landscapes. There's 2 mountain ranges that go through the park. There's 1,000 species of plants and hundreds of different species of animals. Some of the most popular ones that you may even see are bears, moose, and mountain goats. Glacier National Park is also referred to as the crown of the continent. It's located in northern Montana. And you can see in this map here, that yellow road traveling right through the middle of it, that's the Going to the Sun Road. That's the famous route there that'll take you from the east all the way to the west side of the park, and just one of the most scenic drives that you can possibly do. Glacier National Park is seasonal. It's only open from about early June to mid-September because it does get a lot of snow there, so that road and that pass is closed during the off seasons. Because it's seasonal, it does sell out very quickly during that time too, as there is a high demand. Some of the great things you'll see when you're in the park is Logan Pass. This is located right on the Going to the Sun Road. It's actually the highest point on that road there. It's also along the Continental Divide, which actually separates the Atlantic and the Pacific watersheds in North America. And yes, it is a picture of me from my trip. Just the views from there are absolutely incredible. There's so many mountains surrounding it. There's fields and valleys. Glacier National Park has 130 named lakes, and they estimate it has about 200 waterfalls. Of course, that varies a little bit. Sometimes there may be even more during the spring. If there's a lot of snow and that starts to melt, it'll create even more beautiful waterfalls there. So what's the best way to get to the park? Well, taking Amtrak's Empire Builder route, of course. It's not just the easiest, but also the most scenic. And I say that because where the train goes, where that station is, as soon as you step off the train, it's just 108 steps to the front lobby of the beautiful Glacier Park Lodge. So the train will literally bring you right there. The lodge is located right on the east entrance of the park. It's actually a historic property and was built back in 1913. As soon as you walk into the Glacier Park Lodge, you're going to see this grand 3-story lobby, and it was actually built from 60 Douglas fir trees that were all about 40 feet tall. They were actually brought in by train from the Pacific Northwest area, and that's because that's where the biggest trees were. When you're staying at the lodge, I highly recommend upgrading to one of the balcony rooms. It's really just so incredible in the morning to just sit outside, enjoy some of that fresh air. You're not in the city, there's no pollution, you're in a very remote national park area. So it's great just relaxing and just taking in the beautiful landscapes of the grounds and the mountains there off at the distance. This property here is the most popular one and most requested by our clients. Another hotel property that we have is the Many Glacier Hotel. This hotel is located inside the park along the shores of Swift Current Lake. You can kind of just see the lake right behind the property there. In this property, it was designed as a series of chalets, and it actually carries a Swiss Alpine theme throughout the hotel. Because of Glacier's short season and high demand, this property does sell out very quickly. So I do highly recommend if anyone's looking to stay at the Mini Glacier Hotel or even the Glacier Park Lodge, definitely give us a call right away so we can go ahead and book you for the 2018 season before the space in those lodges completely sell out. Now, those are some great places to stay at Glacier National Park, but what's there to do and see inside the park? The Big Sky Circle Tour is the most popular all-day, most inclusive tour of Glacier National Park. It's done on the red jammer buses, which you see one pictured right here, and that actually has an open top, so that roof can actually be pulled back. And this way you can just take in all the fresh air, all those landscapes. You can stand up in it when it's stopped, take some great pictures, unobstructed views there. On that tour, you will travel along the Going to the Sun Road from the east to the west side of the park, and you'll make a lot of stops along the way. Your guide will tell you about the history of the park, kind of about the different areas, landscapes, what's happening, about different wildlife that's there. You'll also stop at Goat Lick for some wildlife viewing. You'll go out to Lake McDonald, which is the largest lake in the park. You also stop at St. Mary Lake, that's located on the east side, and probably one of the first stops that you'll make. It's absolutely incredible to see, and just the more stops you make, the further into the park you go, it just keeps getting better and better. We also do boat cruises on Two Medicine Lake. Two Medicine Lake is really a hidden gem in Glacier National Park. When you're doing the boat cruise, you'll learn about the history of the Blackfeet Nation while taking in all these incredible sights of Two Medicine Valley. So with that, I want to talk about some of the great packages that we have to offer. I do want to take a quick second and explain this map here though, because you're going to see it throughout the presentation. If you've looked on our website, you'll see it throughout all the packages that we have. So this one here, it actually starts in Chicago. There's no overnights in Chicago. From there, you're actually going to hop right on the train and take that down to Williams. Now, whenever you see that red arrow with the 1, that means it's an overnight on the train. So you actually are sleeping on the train. And later in this presentation, I'll talk about the different onboard accommodations. But then in the different cities or national parks that you're going to, we do have you staying at hotels or at those national park lodges right there. This package here, though, is one of our most inclusive national park trips. It's a 2-week adventure on some of the best, most scenic train routes and to some of the top national parks. And it's our Grand National Parks with the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. As I mentioned, it'll start from Chicago, where you can either fly in or we can add the train from your hometown, taking you there. Then you're going to board Amtrak's Southwest Chief Train, which will take you to Williams, Arizona, where you'll stay at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel for the evening. The next morning, you'll wake up. You can enjoy breakfast there, right at the property. You can go outside. They do a Wild West shootout show. And then you're going to board the Grand Canyon Railway, which will take you right up to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. When you get there, we do have a tour included for you that will take you to all the best scenic overlooks. And then the rest of the afternoon is at your leisure. The next morning, So we'll actually have you staying right at the Grand Canyon inside the park at the South Rim's edge. So the next morning, I always recommend to people to get up early and watch the beautiful sunrise over the Grand Canyon. And if you want, you can do some hiking around or just sit back and just soak in the incredible sights of one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. And then in the afternoon, you'll take Grand Canyon Railway back down to Williams. Well, then you'll board Amtrak's train and begin your journey over to San Francisco. You'll spend 2 nights in San Francisco, and on one of the days there, you'll actually enjoy a full day tour taking you from the city through California's agricultural heartland as you make your way out to Yosemite National Park. You will have a guided tour throughout the park to take you to some of the best scenic overlooks there, including the famous tunnel view, which is pictured right here. So you will be able to snap this exact picture on your tour that you have, but you'll also go to places like El Capitan, Half Dome. You do have some free time too to hike and explore the park at your leisure before heading back to San Francisco. And then the next day, you can explore San Francisco at your leisure with your hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour. So that is a narrated tour, so you can learn all about the city. I'll take you to all the most popular places, and then you can hop off at maybe Fisherman's Wharf, explore the area a little bit more, so you can take in views of the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz. Maybe you can continue on the journey on that tour over to Ghirardelli Square, go to their original shop and have one of their delicious sundaes that they put together. And then you can continue on, maybe you want to explore Union Square and do some shopping there. Then in the evening, you'll hop on Amtrak's Coast Starlight route and begin your journey over to Seattle. In Seattle, we do include the Space Needle observation deck admission for you. So that'll bring you right up to the top. You can see it pictured here, just towering over downtown. So you'll have amazing views of not just the city, but also Mount Rainier off at a distance, the waterfront, and Elliott Bay. And then you'll take the Empire Builder route over to Glacier National Park. And we do include both those tours I talked about for you, so you do get that boat cruise as well as that full day Big Sky Circle tour throughout the park, so you can see St. Mary Lake and Goat Island there right in the middle. And that there is our Grand National Park trip featuring Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. It truly is a bucket list adventure. This one, it is round trip out of Chicago, but if you are looking for a different departure point, just let us know. Another great option is our Glacier National Park and Canadian Rockies by rail. This package here offers the best of the US and Canada in terms of national parks. Now for the overnights here and in all of our packages, we do include those in coach accommodations, but if you do want to upgrade to one of the sleepers and do your own private room, you can certainly do that. Just let us know. This package here again begins in Chicago, where you'll take that journey over to Glacier National Park. Now, if you're wondering why so many of our packages start in Chicago, it's because it's the main hub for all those Amtrak long distance trains, and it's really the gateway to go over to Glacier National Park. When you're in the park, you have that great tour. You can see the red Jammer bus just coming out of one of those tunnels there, traveling along that going to the Sun Road. From Glacier, you'll continue your journey out west, traveling through the beautiful Cascade Mountains as you make your way up to Vancouver. You do have 2 nights included there. We do have that hop-on, hop-off tour, so you can tour Vancouver at your leisure, take it out to Granville Island, check out the market there. You can also go to Canada Place, Stanley Park, maybe take a stroll along their seawall there for some amazing views of downtown Vancouver and Cole Harbour, or go to explore the famous totem poles they have throughout the park there. And we do include admission to the top of the Vancouver Lookout, so you can get a bird's eye view of the city, the surrounding mountains, and the waters there. From Vancouver, you'll board Via Rail, which is Canada's national railroad system, and you'll take that over to Jasper. That train route there, it really is incredible. It winds through the Canadian Rockies as you make your way closer to the mountain town of Jasper. You'll spend a night in Jasper, and then the next day, you'll take an Icefields Parkway excursion from Jasper, heading down to Banff, but you're going to make a stop along the way. And you're actually going to board this specially designed Ice Explorer vehicle. Has these huge wheels that are probably about 5 feet tall, and you'll actually go onto Athabasca Glacier. So it'll take you onto the snow there. We always say you can bring a water bottle, anything like that, so you can fill it up and drink some of that fresh glacier water from one of the streams that may be running through there. You'll also make a stop to go to the Glacier Skywalk, which has a glass floor, glass walls, and juts out into the valley. You can also check out the Glacier Discovery Center. Then we have you spending 2 nights in the scenic town of Banff, and we do include a sightseeing tour to take you all around the area there, and also out to Lake Louise, which is world famous for its vibrant turquoise color water. From Banff, we'll transfer you over to the Calgary Airport, where you can catch your flight back home. And that's our Glacier National Park and the Canadian Rockies by rail trip. 11 days from Chicago, going to Glacier National Park, then Vancouver, taking Via Rail to Jasper, traveling down into Banff, and again, ending in Calgary. Another great option if you're looking to maybe stay in the States and focus a little bit more on Glacier National Park is our Glacier National Park Express. This trip here begins with 2 nights in Chicago. We do include the sightseeing architecture cruise through the Chicago River. And that cruise is really exciting, and you're going to learn about the rise of Chicago from the Great Fire of 1871. While you're there during your free time, you can also explore Navy Pier, pictured here. You can also check out Millennium Park, which has the famous bean sculpture, or Grant Park, which has the famous Buckingham Fountain, one of the largest in the world. Then you'll continue on your journey over to Glacier National Park with 3 nights there and plenty of time to explore all that Glacier National Park has to offer before continuing your journey over to Seattle. In Seattle, we have the Hop On, Hop Off sightseeing tour for you. And you'll notice we do use those types of tours in a lot of our cities, and it's because they really are awesome because you get a narrated tour of the city, so you'll learn all about the history and about kind of the city during modern times, what's changed. It'll take you to all the best attractions, and you don't have to worry about the added expenses of taxis trying to get you from place to place or trying to figure out public transportation through some of these cities that you've never been to. So on this one here, again, you have that great narrated tour of Seattle. It'll take you to Seattle's waterfront. It'll also take you out to Pioneer Square, which was the first neighborhood. It'll take you up to the Space Needle in that area, where we also include admission to take you up to the top, as well as admission to the Chihuly Garden and Glass exhibit. That's actually located right at the base of the Space Needle, and it has those beautiful glass-blown sculptures that have all been created into an amazing garden. And that is our 10-day Glacier National Park Express trip. Starting in Chicago, traveling to Glacier National Park, and then ending in Seattle. Now, if you are looking for something maybe a little bit shorter, you just want to focus on Glacier National Park on this trip, here's a perfect option for you. This one is round trip out of Chicago, so it's perfect for anyone living in the Midwest area. Maybe if you live in St. Louis and you want to add the train from there up to Chicago before you begin the journey, we can certainly do that. Again, just let us know because we can really start this package from any of the Amtrak stations. In this package here, we have 3 nights for you at the beautiful Glacier National Park Lodge. We also include the Big Sky Circle Tour, so you have that full day tour throughout the park. You also have the boat cruise on the hidden gem to Medicine Valley. We do include a 3-course dinner at the Glacier Park Lodge for you. Now, if you were looking at that package and thinking, but I don't live in the Midwest area, I live in Seattle or California, it doesn't make sense for me to go to Chicago first to start this package. No problem at all. We also have just our Glacier National Park getaway. And with our getaways, we just add the train from your local Amtrak station. So just give us a call and just let us know where you live. If you're not sure what station is the closest to you, no worries. We can help you figure that out, what might be the best option for you to start from, and we can add that rail right onto this package, which has the same inclusion. So you do get the 3 nights, the best tours available of the park, and that dinner. Now that was just kind of a small sampling of some of the most popular packages that we have throughout the park. We do have even more online that you can definitely check out. But I do want to take some time and go through the different onboard accommodations because I talked a little bit about the overnights and how you can upgrade from coach to one of the sleepers. So I want to show you a little bit of what that is like. So there's coach accommodations pictured here. As you can see, not like coach on the airlines at all. You have a lot more legroom there. The seats, they also recline back at a 45-degree angle. There's also a leg rest that comes up. So it does make it very comfortable for daytime travel, and it's comfortable for overnight trips too. People can certainly do it in coach accommodations. In my opinion, though, to get the full Amtrak vacations experience, I highly recommend upgrading to one of the private sleeping accommodations. The most popular category is the roomette. You can see them pictured here. It's 2 seats that face each other during the day. Then at night, those 2 seats fold down to make a lower bunk, and there's an upper bunk that pulls down. Now, at the end of the train car, there's a private but shared bathroom and shower, and that's exclusively for people with the roomette accommodations. The other option, and it's an upgrade from the roomette, is the bedroom accommodations. The room is a little bit larger, but really the biggest difference is the bedroom has its own private bathroom and shower right in that room. But the great thing about doing either of those sleeping accommodations, all your meals are actually included in the dining car. So it really is a great value that you're getting because not only are you getting your meals included, you now have your own room to hang out on the train, but also your own bed to sleep in at night. One of the great things about traveling on Amtrak is that you're not stuck in your seat or in your sleeping accommodation there during the day. You can get up, walk around, explore the train. A great place to hang out is the sightseeing lounge car that's available on the long distance trains. It's really social in here. There's people traveling on Amtrak from all over the world, really. It's cool to meet some of your fellow passengers and hear their stories about where they're coming from, where they're traveling to. Everyone has a really unique story to tell. But it's great because as soon as you walk in here during the day, it's just instantly brighter in this car too, with all those windows and all that natural light coming in. This is available to everyone on the train, whether you're traveling in coach or you have one of the sleeping accommodations. There's also the dining car on the train. The food, it really is spectacular. They have quite a wide variety of food to choose from. I mean, for lunch, they'll have things like sandwiches, salads, burgers. For dinner, they'll have salmon, steak, pasta, lots of different things to choose from. And they have delicious desserts like their cheesecake and tiramisu. If you're doing one of the sleeping accommodations, again, the meals are included for you in the dining car. If you do decide to travel in coach accommodations, but maybe you're traveling during the day, but it's a full day and you're on board during lunchtime, you can certainly go to the dining car and just purchase your meals on board there. Now, if you want to check out all of our Glacier National Park packages that we have, are all of our destinations that we have to offer, as there's over 50 of them throughout North America. You can go to amtrakvacations.com and click right on that Destinations tab. Now, I do want to make sure I get to some of the questions that you all have in just a bit, but just kind of want to run through some of the frequently asked questions that we get here at Amtrak Vacations. Maybe this will help to answer some of the questions that you all have. Can you begin the packages in one city and just do a portion of the package? So yes, you certainly can do that. Again, we can customize anything and do whatever it is you would like to do for your vacation. So for example, if you're looking at our Glacier National Park Express trip, which does Chicago, Glacier National Park, and Seattle, but again, maybe you live in the Midwest area, so you don't want to do the Chicago overnights. You just want to hop on the train from there. No worries. You can just begin your journey there, but do the rest. Do Glacier National Park in Seattle still. Again, just give us a call. Let us know. Are the hotels included in the itinerary? Yes, they are. We include not just the train, but also the hotels in the different cities and national parks and your sightseeing tours while you're there. We have quite a variety of hotels in the different cities to offer, from moderate to more deluxe properties. Just let us know what your preference is and we'll find the right fit for you. Can we add days in the national parks to these itineraries? You sure can. Let's say you're looking at our Glacier National Park getaway, which was 3 nights in Glacier National Park, but you love exploring and hiking. You want to spend more time there to be able to do all that. No worries. Just let us know. We can change that. We can make it 4 nights, 5 nights for you. Are you permitted to bring your own wine on the train if you enjoy it in private? We get asked this question quite a bit. So I like where everyone's thinking that, asked me that question there. And yes, you certainly can. If you have one of the sleeping accommodations, you can bring your own stuff and enjoy it in your private room there. You're not able to bring it to the dining car or the public spaces, but they do sell beer and wine options both in the dining car as well as in the snack car, where you can bring it to that sightseeing lounge car. So I always say it's great after you have your lunch. Why not? You're on vacation, just sit back, relax, get a wine, get some beer, and take in those beautiful sights there. So now I'm really excited to let you all know about the exclusive attendee discount just for all of you for taking the time and joining me today. So if you upgrade to a sleeping accommodation on a rail package, we'll give you $100 off per couple. But don't wait to book, because this offer is only good until March 21st. And that promo code there is WebGlacier100. So I'll leave this up for a few seconds here just so you all can jot that down. This does apply to new reservations, but again, that promo code is WebGlacier100. So how do you book one of our vacation packages? There's a few different options. You can give us a call at 1-800-AMTRAK2. You can visit our website, amtrakvacations.com. You can also call your local travel agent. They'll be able to help you book any of our packages and help you customize anything. So I do want to make sure I mention a few other discounts that are available on the Amtrak rail portion of your trip. If you're traveling with children ages 2 to 12 get a 50% discount on the rail. Seniors, so anyone over the age of 65, you get 10% off. And military, so active military and their families, they also get 10% off of the rail. So don't forget to download that handout if you haven't clicked on that and done that already. At this time, I want to say if you do have any other questions, please feel free to type it into your questions box. We do have a little bit of time, so I can certainly get to some of those. If for some reason I don't get a chance to get to your question, then please just give us a call or send us an email. I do apologize. There's a lot coming in, so I may not get to everything, but just give us a call, shoot us an email, and we will be able to get right back to you on that. So with that, I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I do want to announce our lucky $100 Amtrak Vacations gift certificate winner, and that winner is Lisa Williams. So congratulations, Lisa. You now have $100 to put towards your next Amtrak Vacations trip. So let's get to some of those great questions you all have. We have a question from Jean. What's the best way to get around the park without a car? So, great question. The way we put our packages together, you really don't need a car while you're there in the park. That big sky circle tour that we have, that's actually going to pick you right up from the Glacier Park Lodge. And it's the full day, so it's going to bring you all around the area there. Same thing for that boat cruise that will take you to Two Medicine Valley or to Two Medicine Lake. It'll also pick you right up from your hotel, so you don't need to worry about that. If by chance you do want to kind of explore, if you're looking to extend your trip, you want to go back into the park, explore on your own, no worries. We also can add a car for people. So if anyone is interested in that, we can certainly add that onto the package. So question from Gary, what packages are available from Indianapolis via Chicago? So really any packages are available for you. Again, Chicago is really the main hub. So you have so many options. All the ones I talked about today, you really can, do any of those, whether it's just doing Glacier National Park, kind of a round trip experience there. We can put that together for you. Or if you want to go fully cross country out to Seattle, maybe you want to train one way, fly back home at the end, you can certainly do that too. If you want to give us a call, we can go ahead and any one of our vacation specialists or your local travel agent too can kind of plan things out, let you know the different times, and kind of go through all the details for you. We have a question from Lisa. I'm in Southern California. Can I arrange a Glacier, Yosemite, and Grand Canyon package without going to Chicago? So yes, Lisa, you can certainly do that. We can rearrange it for you. So you can actually start from, give us a call. We can figure out which station, specifically where you are in Southern California. But essentially we can do it from the Los Angeles area. From there, you can take the train up to San Francisco, do Yosemite, continue up to Seattle, head over to Glacier. We can actually add a night or two if you want to explore Chicago before taking you back to the Grand Canyon and then ending in Los Angeles. So we can certainly rearrange that and kind of shift it a little bit for you. Question from Melissa, are there shorter trips available? Yes, there certainly are. So if maybe you only have enough time to do, 2 nights in Glacier, no worries. We can certainly rearrange anything. Or if you were looking at one of the longer trips, you want, again, maybe our Glacier National Park Express to do Chicago, Glacier, and Seattle, but you need to trim it down a night in each city. Again, no problem. Just let us know. We can certainly do that for you. Question from Linda. On the tour, including the Canadian Rockies, how can a person get home if they don't want to fly from Calgary? So great question, Linda. What we can do from Banff is we can actually transfer you back up to Jasper instead of over to Calgary. From Jasper, you can take the train either back down to Vancouver. If you live kind of in the West Coast area there, you can certainly do that. We'll train you all the way back home. But what some other people do, let's say you live in maybe the Midwest or East Coast area, you can actually take the train from Jasper, go fully across Canada. That is quite the adventure, absolutely beautiful and scenic. It really is a bucket list experience for a lot of people too. But you can go across Canada to Toronto, and then from Toronto, take Amtrak up back into the States to your hometown or your local station. So just give us a call, let us know where your hometown is, and we can kind of figure out the best option for you, how that would work out. We have a question from Nancy. Where's your luggage kept on these trips? Do you have to keep taking them on and off? So great question. For your luggage, you have a couple different options. So for Amtrak, you can actually do checked luggage. So that works similar to how it will on an airline. Is that when you get to the station, you can just check it. You don't have access to it while you're on the train, but then when you get to your destination, so for example, when you get to Glacier, they'll take those bags off for you so you can just pick them right up at the station there. I always recommend if people are doing that, take a small carry-on backpack for things that you're going to want while you're on board the train there. We have a question from Lisa. Can a couple be a mother and son for $100 discount? It sure can. So we say couple, really, it's just for two people. It's a $100 discount there. So mother, son, father, daughter, just two friends that are going together. Doesn't matter the combination. Really, you can look at it as $50 off per person. So if it's three people going, we'll give you $150 off if everyone wants to upgrade to one of the sleepers there. No problem. We have Caitlin asking, can you please repeat what the discount is, what that promo code is? So let's see, that promo code is Web Glacier 100. So that's WEB Glacier GLACIER 100. We have a question from Welton. Can you book a sleeper car from Atlanta, or do you have to go to Jacksonville, Florida to get a sleeper car? Yes, well, and you can certainly do it from Atlanta. In fact, if you're looking to go to Glacier National Park from Atlanta, you do have a couple different options for which route you want to go, where you want to take it. If you want to go down to New Orleans, from there up to Chicago, maybe you want to go to DC, kind of the other way, and then go over. You can certainly do either one, and we can do those sleeping accommodations for you, no problem. We have a question from Darcy. Is there a package where families who live in different areas, say one coming from Seattle and one family coming from Chicago, can meet up and tour together at the park? Yeah, Darcy, you can certainly do that. So we can set it up for you guys. We'll just book your train separately, but we can put your hotel accommodations there together. So if you guys are looking to share a room while you're there, we can certainly set that up for you. Or if it's going to be, two different couples travel, depending on it, we can also request rooms to be next to each other. But yeah, that's not a problem at all. We get that quite a bit. People are coming from different areas. We've also been asked, sometimes people are coming from Chicago and then others are hopping on the train from the Minneapolis area. So they're kind of picking them up along the way as they go to Glacier National Park. So it's quite common, as these days families live in all different areas. So no worries at all, Darcy. We can certainly put that together for you so your family can have a really nice vacation in Glacier National Park. So there are a lot of great questions from all of you guys here. Let's see, we have one from Frank. Can you leave Chicago and stop overnight at interim stops like Minneapolis and then continue to Glacier National Park? So yeah, Frank, you can certainly do that, no problem. If you want, we'll just book it for you. So we'll do the first train portion from Chicago over to Minneapolis. And then we can also set up the hotel accommodations for you if you need that in Minneapolis, if you want to do some exploring there. And then we'll do the next train continuing on to Glacier National Park. We also have a question from Thaddeus, single people in mobility issues. So yes, we certainly can accommodate both single travelers and people with mobility issues. Just let us know. There are handicap accessible rooms on Amtrak. So if that's something that you need on board, just let us know. We can go ahead and book that specific room for you. We have a question from Jana. If flying to Chicago, how do I get to the train station? So Jana, if you are flying in, so I usually recommend people spend the night in Chicago if anyone's flying in, spend the night before catching the train. And we can set up the hotel accommodations for you, as well as a transfer from the airport to your hotel. If you do want to go direct from the airport to the train station, we can also set up those transfers for you too. Others also will sometimes just do a taxi or an Uber or Lyft sometimes, but we can certainly arrange a private transfer for you if needed. So it looks like that's all we have time for questions for right now. But if for some reason I didn't get a chance to get to your question again, I do apologize. There's so many great ones that came in. Please just give us a call. You can also send us an email and we'll be able to get back to you on that. But thank you so much again for taking the time joining me. I hope you all enjoyed today's presentation and learned a lot for it. We look forward to hosting you on your next Glacier National Park trip. Take care.